Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and I have a box to open. This is sent to me by my buddy Kyle from DTOM Knives And Gear. If you haven't noticed, we are kind of in the habit of, oh that didn't work, of sending knives back and forth to one another. We both just tend to oftentimes align on taste. Sometimes we do not. If you don't believe me, then watch my video on his Medford that he sent to me. Anyway, I send him knives here and there. He sends me knives here and there. We like to do the old swap-a-roo back and forth, and we've been having fun with that. So he sent me, I believe, 2 more knives to check out, although it looks like 3. Now that I'm pulling this out of here, he only told me about 2, if I remember correctly. So one of these is a surprise. But yeah, I'm actually getting a package out to him hopefully today, if I can make it to the post office, so he can check out some of my knives as well. But yeah, let's see what he sent. These will all be knives that I will review in my typical fashion. And Kyle has just become such a good friend over the past couple of months. We both started our YouTubes about the same time, and it's been great to have him as somebody to be able to confide in every now and then and ask questions and swap gear with, and I just really appreciate him. So there are 3 knives in here. One of them he did not mention, but I am stoked that he sent, because it is a special kind of rendition of a knife that I actually owned a long time ago. So first things first is the one that started the conversation. This is the Artisan Centauri. I hope I'm saying that right. It should be right. There's a centaur, you add an I at the end, Centauri. This one is the new kind of front flipper from Artisan. I believe it's a Laconico design, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not. But yeah, it is a front flipper that works fantastically well based on the first front flip. This one's S35VN, but I know they also do a Damasteel version, and I think they're the same price. The Damasteel is, I think, a VG10 Damasteel, if I'm not mistaken. So this would be the better steel, but if you want it to look flashier, you can do the Damasteel. This is really nice. I've been curious about this knife for quite a while now. When these came out, I almost got one, but I just... There's a lot of knives I almost get, if we're being fair. Sometimes impulsively, I just... it's real close. Anyways, this is quite nice. The action is fantastic. It's really drop shutty. It's on bearings. It's a nice blade stock thickness. It feels relatively robust without being too robust. This carbon fiber seems to be done well. It's pretty lightweight because of it. Aha! It is Laconico. The backspacer says R Laconico, Artisan Cutlery. So, I'm not a crazy person. Very cool. I'm looking forward to trying this sucker out. I'm going to carry it a little bit, do some light cutting with it, as I would with the typical loaner knife from Kyle. But I've been enjoying front flippers lately. I just got the Kizer Feist, which I recently reviewed, and I have another one that I just pre-ordered. It's going to be a while until that one's ready, but I got in on the Vero Axon, so I'm really excited for that. This is quite slim. Anyways, there will be a real first impressions on that within the next couple of days, so we'll wait for that. Next is the other knife that I knew he was sending. This is a Protech, but it is not your average Protech. This is the... I think it's called the Magic Whiskers. I'll have to double check on that name. Is it just the Whiskers or is it the Magic Whiskers? Anyways, this one is a very unique out-the-side auto in terms of the way that it opens. Now, I've played with one of these before, and then I'll say I played with 1.5. That's the right way to say it. Because at California Custom Knife Show, I got to handle one of these for a moment, and then at a local knife shop, I got to handle the California legal version of it, and I don't know. I mean, the way to make an auto legal in California is to have a sub 2-inch blade on it. And this knife, with this same size handle and a sub 2-inch blade, it was laughable to me. Google a picture of it if you haven't seen it before. Anyways, this version is way more compelling to me. This is actually a Protech that's kind of been on my hit list. If I find one of these for the right price, I may end up jumping on one of these because it's really cool. So the way that it opens, instead of a typical push button auto like Protech typically makes, is this bolster here. Let me get it to focus. This bolster slides and when you like shuffle that bolster over, it deploys the blade. So really kind of just a different cool opening mechanism. If someone's watching you open this knife and they don't know what you're doing and you make it look easy, it's like a sleight of hand trick, and then you hand it to them, they probably won't be able to figure out how to open it. It's just really kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to the reactions I get handing this to people. I'll be very careful not to hand it to the wrong person, and to be ready to catch it in case they drop it. But really just a cool design. It's just a different mechanism altogether than I'm familiar with. Feels pretty good in hand too. I like this. I feel like there's two sizes of this knife. I want to say this is the smaller. I might be wrong though. I don't know. I'll find out. This is an unboxing. I'm not supposed to know everything about the knife yet. Now this is the ringer in the package. I did not know that Kyle was sending this. This is a Kizer Sheepdog. It, as you can tell, has been anodized extensively. I believe it was Scott from Big Bore Knife and Gear who did this for Kyle. If I remember from his video correctly, I'll confirm that, but I'm almost certain that's who did this anodizing job, and he did a great job on it. Before everybody was kind of doing this anodization, it's become pretty popular. My buddy Kyle was one of the only, like a handful of people who were doing this, and he did it on 1 or 2 knives for me, and I've seen it done a bunch. I've always liked this anodizing, and it's kind of cool that it's become popular now, and now a lot of the modders know how to do it. But I actually owned, a long time ago, a Kizer Sheepdog. I got first the mini Sheepdog when I started kind of collecting knives beyond just carrying the few like I had my whole life. A Kizer Sheepdog was one of the first ones that I got because I was just kind of drawn to the design of it, thought it was cool. And then I ended up, I got a Kizer Megatherium for pretty cheap that I just found on Instagram. Somebody was selling, and I bought that. Wasn't crazy about it, and what I really wanted was a Sheepdog, and so I ended up trading that knife for a Kizer Sheepdog. And it was one of those things where I'd really been looking forward to it, and my expectations of it were really high, and I liked it. As you can tell, this action is fantastic. It's a really thick, really heavy blade, just a gigantic kind of cleaver style knife. Just funny because now they make a bigger version of this even. But I got it and started carrying it, and it was just really big and heavy in pocket, and so I ended up trading that knife relatively quickly after that. But it's funny because I've thought back on that a few times and thought maybe I should revisit the Sheepdog. And I don't think I've even mentioned that to Kyle, but telepathically he knew that I was curious about this knife again, especially because my tastes and my preferences and everything has evolved over the last couple of years. So this is an interesting one to have back in my possession, and to have it be such a unique one too, with this anodizing on it. And these scales, it looks like he polished them before he anodized them. Really kind of a wild look it's got. It's really high shine. The clip is anodized as well, I think. I don't think that's the way the clip looks from factory. But yeah, this is a really cool knife. Definitely hefty, but it's, I don't know, I'm going to have fun with it. So thank you so much to Kyle for sending all of these along. Let's get a shot of all of them. We have the Kizer Sheepdog, Artisan Centauri, and the Protech Whiskers, Magic Whiskers, something. I apologize that I don't remember off the top of my head, but I go through a lot of knives. So these are going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, thanks buddy, I appreciate it, and be looking forward to some impressions videos and some reviews of each of these because they are coming.